On April 28, 2025, Canadians headed to the polls in what has become one of the most consequential federal elections in recent history. With political tensions running high and provocative comments from US President Donald Trump adding pressure, the election has evolved beyond a traditional party contest. It now stands as a powerful statement about Canadian sovereignty, national identity, and the future of its relationship with its southern neighbour. Early turnout numbers show a nation highly engaged in deciding its path forward. The race between Liberal leader Mark Carney and Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre has tightened significantly over the past few months. At the beginning of 2025, the Conservative Party enjoyed a commanding 25-point lead in the polls. However, in the final weeks leading up to April 28, support for the Liberals surged. Recent polls indicate the two major parties are locked in a near-dead heat, with the Liberals even pulling slightly ahead according to several national surveys. The unexpected shift in voter sentiment can be attributed in large part to President Trump's comments regarding Canada. Trump threatened to impose new tariffs and, in a controversial move, suggested Canada should become the 51st state of the United States. These statements have not only alarmed Canadians but have also redefined the election narrative. What was initially an election focused on economic recovery and cost of living issues has now become a referendum on Canadian independence and resilience. Both major party leaders responded swiftly to Trump's remarks. Liberal leader Mark Carney took a strong stand, emphasizing that Canada must remain united and independent in the face of foreign interference. Carney has urged voters to protect Canada's sovereignty, warning that aligning with Trump's vision could threaten the country's democratic institutions and economic autonomy. His message has resonated strongly, particularly in urban centres and among younger voters. Pierre Poilievre, the Conservative leader, initially faced backlash for what some perceived as a weak response to Trump's interference. However, in the days leading up to April 28, Poilievre adopted a firmer tone, publicly telling Trump to stay out of our election. He reaffirmed the Conservative Party's commitment to Canadian sovereignty, but some critics argue the damage to his campaign had already been done, costing him crucial support in swing ridings. Voter turnout has been particularly strong. Elections Canada reported that over 7.3 million people cast their ballots during advance voting, setting a new record for early participation. This enthusiasm reflects the high stakes of the election, fueled by economic uncertainty, inflation concerns, and a rising fear of external threats. Canadians appear determined to have their voices heard at a critical moment for the nation's future. The results of the election are expected to trickle in gradually after polls close across 6 time zones. Significant reporting is anticipated between midnight and 2:30 a.m. Eastern Time on April 29, when larger provinces such as Ontario, Quebec, and British Columbia submit their preliminary counts. Political analysts predict a long night ahead, with the final outcome potentially hinging on a handful of tightly contested ridings. International observers have also been paying close attention to Canada's election. With the global political landscape shifting rapidly, Canada's stance on maintaining its independence from US influence is seen as a broader signal about the resilience of liberal democracies worldwide. Many experts argue that how Canadians vote on April 28, 2025, will have ripple effects far beyond the country's borders. Regardless of the final result, the 2025 federal election has already made history. It has highlighted Canadians' deep commitment to their national identity and their willingness to push back against external threats. Both Mark Carney and Pierre Poilievre have promised to respect the democratic outcome and work towards a stable future, but the tone of Canadian politics is likely to remain combative and highly charged in the months ahead. As Canadians await the final tally, one thing is clear: April 28, 2025, will be remembered not just as another election day, but as a defining moment in Canada's modern political journey, a day when the nation stood firm, debated its future vigorously, and reasserted its independence on the world stage.